Hello everyone. So I decided to record a question that is an example of how to solve with fractions so that you can use this example to help you review for Monday's quiz. I'm going to go through two different ways of doing it just in case you find one of the ways a little bit easier than the other. So the first way I'm going to show you right now on this page is the same way I showed you in class. They both give you the same answer, and it's up to you to decide which of the ways you're going to follow through. Okay, so if you have a fraction looking like this, you have to always remember that whatever is in the numerator, all the terms separately are being divided by 3. So you can rewrite it as 2x divided by 3 and then plus 5 divided by 3. And then you have the second part separately. So here it would have been 2x divided by 3 plus 5 divided by 3. And then here we have negative. Then I'll put a bracket. It's a mistake that I noticed some of you are making. Equals. I like to align my equals because they keep everything organized. Okay, so equals 1. That way we do not forget about this negative. Okay, you have to realize that this negative applies for everything inside here. So the 4x becomes a negative and the negative 3 becomes a positive because negative times a negative is a positive. You have to keep that in mind. So I'm going to rewrite that. 2x over 3 plus 5 over 3 minus 4x over 4 plus 3 over 4 equals 1. Okay, if there's anything you can simplify and make numbers simpler, then just do that. So I have 4 and 4. These cancel out, but you don't need to erase it. But I'm going to cancel them out by dividing by 4, and it equals 1 and 1. And then I can start collecting like terms. So any number that has the same variables, they are like terms. Eventually you want to add them up or you want to subtract them, you want to combine them. And any of the numbers that are just digits, these are the constants, and we want to keep them on one side. So we have an equal sign and we have the right hand side of the equation and the left hand side of the equation. That's how we need to look at it. Okay, so if you decided that you want all your constants on this side, so you're moving all the constants on this side so that eventually you can add them or subtract them. And that's what I want to do. So I'm going to take my constants and move them this way. They both happen to be a positive, so I can make them a negative when I move them to the other side. Over 4 and then minus 5 over 3. And then I kept all my x's on the left side. 2x over 3 minus, this became 1 over 1, so it can just be 1x. So it can just be x. Okay, now I'm going to try to combine them. To be able to combine anything that has a fraction, you need to have common denominators. Okay, so in this side, it's kind of easy because this has an invisible 1. In order to make it the same denominator as the other one, all you have to do is multiply it by 3. And you end up with 2x minus 3x over 3 over 3. On the other side, I want to do it on the same step and just find the common denominator for all of them. So my numbers are 4 and 3. And let's just make it 12 because this is the lowest common multiple. So I'm going to times this by 4, times this by 3. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. And then this has an invisible 1 that has to be multiplied by 12. And then the top will have to be multiplied by 12. So at the end, we end up with 12 over 12 minus 9 over 12 minus 20 over 12. 12 take away 9, that's 3 minus 20, that's 7 minus 17 over 12. And then on the left side, we have 2x take away 3x is minus x over 3. Okay, and we need to isolate x. In order to isolate x, we need to get rid of the negative that's beside it and the 3, so we need to multiply it. So you time it by negative 3 because we want to get rid of the negative, this negative, by multiplying by negative, and then this one timing it by 3 on the other side as well. So x equals negative 17 over 12 times negative 3. We simplify, divided by 3 gives us 1, divided by 3 gives us 4, and then you end up for x. So x equals, not negative, sorry, big positive because I had to multiply both negatives. All right, so let me show you the other way of doing it, and you might find that to be a bit easier, then you can stick with the other way of doing it. All right, so if we have fractions here as parts of these expressions here, then try to find the lowest common multiple that you can multiply each of these by in order to cancel those fractions. Okay, so you want to get rid of the 3, you want to get rid of the 4, but you can't just simply decide to get rid of it. You still have to keep the same answer. Okay, so the lowest common multiple would have been 12 because 12 would cancel the 3 out and it would cancel the 4 out. But you have to also remember that you're also going to multiply this term by 12. So whatever term you have, if this happened to be a 2, if it happened to be a 3, you have to also multiply it by whatever number you had decided to multiply each one. That's the only way we can maintain this equation being equal. Okay, so we can simplify here. Dividing by 3, this gives us 1. 12 divided by 3 is a 4. Then when we simplify these two, 4 divided by 4 is a 1. 12 divided by 4 is a 3. And then we can just multiply the others. Here we have no denominator, so we don't need to simplify anything. We just need to multiply towards the end. Okay, we just have to remember when we rewrite it, we have to treat this as a group. So we need to put it in brackets. So it's 2x plus 5. And then don't forget about your negative here. Negative 3. 4x minus 3 equals, and then 12 times 1 is 12. And then now I have to expand because I have those brackets. I need to make sure I expand here, and I need to make sure I expand here to open up those brackets. 4 times 2x is 8x plus 20. And then here for the second number, please treat this as a negative 3. It's not just a 3, it's a negative 3. So negative 3 times 4x is negative 12x. Then negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9 equals 12. Now I'm going to try to combine all like terms. So move on one side of the equation, move all the constants. On another side of the equation, move all the variables. Okay, so my variables are the x's. Maybe I can keep them on the left-hand side. And my constants, maybe I can move them all to the right-hand side. So the 9 becomes a negative. The 20 becomes a negative as well. And that way you separated the two. You separated the like terms. Okay, so 12 and then negative 9 minus 20. Now try to add them up. So 8x minus 12x is negative 4x equals 12 take away 9 is 3, take away 20 is negative 17. And now I want to isolate x, so I have to divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. So my x equals negative 17 divided by negative 4. So it just becomes a positive and it's a 17 over 4. Your x is 17 over 4, just the exact same answer as you had before, except different steps. So here we're trying to get rid of fractions by multiplying by a number that's suitable for that, so we can cancel them out. And then in the other one, we kind of kept the fractions until the very end. Okay, but keep in mind that each of these terms had to be written as a fraction, and then I ended up with the same exact answer. Okay, I hope this helps. Please do try out many questions. I did share with you a number of them that can be used for practice. Okay, and best of luck.